Recording from home, we'll see how this goes tonight. We did paste into, and so I'm going to go back over that again. We used the fishing boat, and we used the Hill Sky. You can open both of those at the same time if you'll select with your Option key down and open them both. There we go. First of all, before we did any of the other stuff that we usually do, we selected the sky on the fishing boat using a tool we haven't used yet, the Magic Wand tool. It's a kind of a legacy tool that has been around in Photoshop for a long time. You simply click, then Shift key down, and click again. And then give it a good close inspection just to see how well it's selected. That looks pretty good, and that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. There's a little bit right here I'm going to try to select. Now I've got the little corner down there. Okay. We also minused the selection a little bit on those chimneys, if you remember, using the rectangular marquee and the minus setting on it. That's this one, subtract. You can also do the same thing if you just hold down your Option key. Okay, and I'm just going to minus from the selection this little chimney here, and this little one here, and here's one on top of this one, and here's one, and over here's one. It's a low-res image. Even if I don't hit it quite perfect, it's probably going to work just fine. Okay. The bigger your image, the higher resolution, the bigger the file, the more specific you need to be with your selection. Okay, I'm going to go back over to Hill Sky. I'm going to select the whole thing. I'm going to do it this way. Press Command A. That selects all. Command C copies. Then we can close it. Oops, actually, you know what? I didn't mean to do that. Let's leave that open. Okay. Go back to the fishing boat and paste into. It's under Edit, Paste Special, Paste Into. Now what it should do is paste that image into just the part that you had selected, and there it is. Okay, look over at your layers real quick and you'll see how this is working. It's a background image. Okay, it's still all there, even in the sky. We've pasted an image on top of it, but only in this part of the mask. Okay. Alright, back over here we can use the Move tool, and we can actually move that image around. You may notice that it's a little bigger than the other image. If you turn on your Show Transform controls, you can see this even better. I moved it just a little to the left, and then I want to rescale this using my Shift key. I just want to make it so it's the same width as the file, or just a little bit bigger. See how it's a little bit bigger? That gives you just a little bit more leeway here. Now, it's still selected. I'm going to use my up arrow key, and you'll see the image moving up. Now, at some point, you start to see the hills in the picture. You don't really want this. The file was Hill Sky. We just want the sky part. Now, take note of where it extends. It extends way up high. I'm going to apply that. It is way up there. All of that is that picture of the hills and the sky. Okay, so we don't need to cheat ourselves here. Let's add a little crop to this and include more of that sky. Okay, so I've got a little bit more space up there. As I double click, you'll be disappointed to find out that it only added white. Well, the reason that's true is because it has ink, it has added to the mask. See this part? That is blocking the image. It's there, it's just blocked. So we can fix that. Here's how you do it. Click on the mask. Very important. You want to edit the mask. Now if you use your eraser tool, making sure that the foreground color here over here is black, using the eraser tool with black, will erase. That's the color it needs to be to erase. And you can see how it takes off part of the image. You can make your brush bigger and you can take off more. Now you can also use the paintbrush for this. If I type a B, now I've got the paintbrush, but I have to use white for my foreground color. Okay, so now you can see that I'm using the brush but with white. Okay, it works with either tool. You just have to make your bigger brush. Remember, right bracket, and it'll paint that white in there. What we're really doing is painting on top of the mask. It was this way, and now it's this way. It was this way. I messed it up. Let's see if I can fix it. Okay, it was okay, it was this way, and we painted it out. We use the paintbrush with white to do that. Be careful. If you go down here, you'll erase this image. Don't want to do that. You just want to erase the mask. Okay, or you can use the eraser, but you got to flip the colors. Either one of them will work. Okay, just be careful to stay out of this area. You don't want to mess that part of the mask up. You want that mask to still work there. Okay, remember you can also option click on the mask and actually see the mask. Option click on the mask and you can see the mask. Okay, now that looks pretty good. We want it to next bring in a reflection on our water. And so I'm just going to go to paste, make sure this layer is selected, press paste, and that image will come in again. Look at that. This time it's just a regular paste. Instead of paste into, it's simply paste. Okay, now we need to turn this image upside down. Select it, press Command T for your transform tool, right click, flip vertical. Now we also want to apply that. We want to fix this again so the picture isn't too wide. Our picture, the hill sky picture, and then I'm going to left click it over here so it cuts across both layers. Okay. Now I also need for this to line up at the bottom, so I'm going to move it down. Okay. I'm going to change the opacity of the layer right over here. I'm making it more transparent. That way I can see the upside down image, but I can see how it relates to the image below. I'm going to continue to click it down. The part I'm really looking at is right here. There's a hill there, and it should not be used as a reflection on the water. Just the sky. Remember, we're working with just the sky. Alright, so that looks good. I'll commit to that. And then the next thing to do is to erase all parts of this image that should not be there. That would include all of this, all of the land part of that picture. Now, if you're having trouble kind of thinking what we're doing here, just option click on it and you can see what I'm doing. I'll turn the opacity back up. The image is upside down. I want to erase all remnants of the hills. Option click again. I want to keep it, so I want to keep the reflection on top of the water. Okay, so I'll turn it up, I'll turn the opacity back down, and you can see how it works as a reflection. If you look right in here, it looks very realistic at about 30%, maybe a little more, 32, 35, whatever. Okay, now, again, we've still got some erasing to do. We're on this layer 2. This is, by the way, our reflection layer. Okay. And this is our sky layer. Okay, and this is our boat layer. Now, when I clicked on that bottom one, it's going to have the effect of unlocking it as well. Okay, so now we just need to make sure that everything gets erased that should be erased. Everything should be erased down to that line across the back where the water touches the shore. Okay, I want to make it a little bit harder brush. Okay, and I'm going to just go next to that shore, not on that layer, on the reflection layer. And you can see how it clears it up. I can see that rock wall. I'm going to make it a little softer. Seems a little too hard. Now you can see it. You want all of the land down to the line of that shore. It's actually a rock wall. Okay, I'm just going to change my opacity back to around 30. Turn my other layers back on with Option click. That's a nice thing to remember. You can turn off all of them but one with Option click on the eyeball. Isn't that nice? Okay, the other thing we did was then to just continue erasing any part that needs to be erased. The boat surely needs to be erased. Make my brush a little smaller. All this should be erased, right? Up to that line and over to here and all of this. And if you're having any trouble with this, just you can make a smaller brush and look, you can do straight lines. Click, shift, click, click, shift, click. And see how I'm taking it off of the cabin there in a nice straight line. Kind of messed up on that one there. Okay, but I'm taking all this off. On this side of the cabin, click, shift, click. See how you can take it right off in a straight line. All of this needs to go. All this needs to go. Over here, click, shift, click. Now I'm working with 100% erase, 100% 100% opacity, and it does a great job. If I want to do along the bottom here where the boat touches the water, I usually use a bigger brush, left bracket, a softer brush, shift left bracket. I think I said that wrong. It's right bracket to make it bigger. Okay. And then you can erase here and see how if you let just a little bit of the eraser, the soft erase, go into the water, it makes a better looking shadow. I mean a better looking reflection. Because it's true, that's the way reflections work. If you I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what I did there. Oh, I'm going through the blending modes. Okay. All right, but I'm just erasing. And you can see where I've erased out part of the boat. Okay, you just want to keep erasing by switching your opacity, turning your layers off and on. You can see your progress. I'm going to zoom back in. Straight lines are no problem at all. Make a small brush. Make a soft brush, a hard brush. Make it smaller. And if you just do the click, shift, click. You see how that clears that up? A little smaller brush, click, shift, click. You can do that little smokestack that's right there next to it. Click, shift, click, click. Okay? Even that handrail there, make a little smaller brush still. Hard brush here. Just drag it across there. Okay, straight lines. Click, shift, click. See how easy that is? You can take all that out and make it look very realistic. Okay, the other boats behind need to be need to have the reflection taken off of them too. Okay, so I'll take that off. There's one back here. Now again, if you go soft brush as where the boat touches the water, it just looks a little bit better. Same way over here. You want to take the hard brush to do the edges. Then you want to use a soft brush where the boat touches the bottom, where the boat touches the water. Isn't that nice? Try it over here. Soft brush. Right over here. Pretty nice. Okay. Right, and you'll want to just do that until you've got everything uncovered that should be uncovered. There's a little bit over here that needs to be done. Here. How about on those rocks? Yeah, that needs to be done. A little bigger brush, very soft, where the rock touches the water. Okay, hard brush. Whoops, I'm doing that thing again. I'm going to have to remember that because that's pretty cool. It's shift minus, and it'll switch through your blending modes. How about that? Shift minus. See how you can discover things by accident? Okay. All right. I'm going to have to pause here and do the rest of it in the second video, but I think that's about how far we got the first day.